Hello and welcome back to my office. Every now and again people send me things to look at, which is jolly kind of them. And right now, with this arm still in recovery mode, it's not always easy to think of things to put up here, so I'm very grateful today to Lochby. Nice little company who have sent me some fascinating things. So here's a quick unboxing followed by rather more all about the company. And if you enjoy this, do please hit the like and subscribe and all those good things. Or you can just buy me a coffee or join my Patreon. I really don't mind as long as you enjoy the video. That's the main thing. Thanks a lot and back in a second. So, quick opening of something without any ease with one arm. How do you open a package with one hand? With the greatest lack of ease. This is pathetic. But I have opened it. And inside we have one ruled notebook, one plain notebook, one Lochby notebook cover. So let's open these up. Now, any of you who know me will know that I love my William Hannah notebooks. I also love my Midori traveller's notebooks. I love any number of different notebooks. I've got notebooks everywhere round here. I've got a Conway Stewart notebook there. I've got all sorts. But this is the one I really love, which is why this has got my diary in it full time. But there's a difficulty with this, and that is I love my William Hannah so much that I really don't like taking it out because it gets spoiled, it gets scratched and marked, and I feel sorry for it when that happens. I don't like to see it injured. But some while ago, a very nice gentleman in America sent me this. This was a cover for a notebook. The notebook itself was fantastic because it held an awful lot of Tomo River. I think it was the 68 GSM paper. And this struck me as a really useful cover because it will open out flat. It has a nice little handle on the back so that you can hold it up while you're writing. It has these useful little pockets, so two business card sized pockets, these two at the bottom, and then one longer style of pocket and a Velcro fastened, easy to see through mesh pocket, as well as a big pocket at the back. And it was the big pocket at the back that you would stick your notebook's hardcover back into there, and then you could carry on writing. It's also got, or also has, a nice little wallet in the front, so you can Velcro sealed again. And it's made out of this black ballistic plastic, which is incredibly robust, as you can tell from the way that this shows really absolutely no usage whatsoever. And I was very impressed with this, and I gave a little YouTube video of it. If you look up Bond travel gear, you'll probably find it on YouTube. The only trouble is Bond travel gear disappeared shortly after I did the YouTube, which is one of those ironic things. Now, sometimes though, when I see something and I say, oh dear, they've gone, There's no point worrying about it. It's gone, so you can't get any of these anymore. Sometimes I'm wrong. And then again, sometimes companies don't disappear. They just change their name and move direction a bit. Which is why I'm talking today not about Bond, but these delightful people at Lochby. Now, this is not ballistic plastic. This feels infinitely nicer because it's waxed cotton. Let's have a look in it. First of all, I've got to say the normal things. This was sent to me for my review, and I was very grateful to receive it, and it cost me nothing. Doesn't mean I'm going to give a dishonest review, but what it does mean is that I've got to admit I'm hugely impressed. Now, I really like this type of fabric. I've always liked waxed cotton. I grew up wearing Belstaffs and Barbers. It's the sort of guy I was. This really does harken back to those days. It's waterproof, apparently, or water resistant. I'm not sure how waterproof it really is. But the nice thing about waxed cotton is you can always get some waxed cotton sealant, some wax, rub it over and renew the waterproofness. Now, the old Bond Travellers cover had a zip that would go right round, and that would prevent a certain amount of water getting in. This doesn't have that, and to be honest, I'm not bothered by it. It is so much more convenient not having a zip that gets in the way while you're trying to write. But anyway, looking at it, just first pass, the quality of the stitching and everything is frankly superb. Something I do like is it is not made by slave labour in China. This is made in Vietnam, which seems a great deal more positive to me. On the outside, you have the same handle as the Bond, so you can hold it in your hand while you're writing. It has the same Velcro fastened wallet at the back, and that's about it really, apart from the fact that it's also got a nice little elasticated pen loop. Instead of having zips to keep it shut, it's got this really rather nice aluminium, I think, clip. Now, some people find these difficult to open. I find it an absolute breeze. You just release it by lifting it slightly and then put it straight up. It's a little bit difficult doing it into a camera from behind, but that's about as difficult as it gets. Now, one thing I do like about this is they've thought about the fact that when you're there writing, you don't want to have this flaming clip dangling around. So you have two choices. You can, if you wish, simply go to the back, and there is a hole here, and you can just thrust it through that hole. Or, if you don't want to do that, on the inside here, there's another one, and you can just hook it through there, just to keep it out of the way. That's nice. That's a good idea. So, as I said, you can hold it like this. I'm not going to hold it for very long because that is my bad arm, and it's getting tired already. Still, what have you got inside? You don't now have the big hardback notebook. Now, Lochby provides you with cahiers, and they have a lined cahier, they have a dot grid cahier, they have a plain paper cahier, and I've got one of each. I've also stuck in one of my favourites, which is a Lamy cahier, purely because I've already been using that for some time, and so I want to use it up. Now, it has the same series of pockets as the Bond, so you've got two for business cards, in which I keep a little bit of blotting paper. It has the deeper one, which is ideal, I find, for a ruler. And then it has the Velcro fastened mesh at the top. It also has a full-size pocket at the front, so you can take notes out and put them in there. And it has another one at the back, which is actually slightly larger. It also somewhere has a little label saying where it's made, which I can't find right this minute, but it is in there somewhere. And the main thing for me is, as I say, this is made in a free country by free people, which is very appealing. It is not heavy. It is very tactile to me. It feels delightful. I'm not going to review the paper. It is enough to say that the paper provided by Lochby is still Tomo River. I think this is all 68 GSM. But the main thing for me is this is just an enormously practical little work from home, work away from home notebook. I do like the cahiers. I like the fact that when you've got a cahier, you've got all your notes in one place. Now, one thing I do adore about my William Hanna notebooks is that you can take pages out and reorder them. You can move them around, you can do whatever you want with the bits of paper. It's wonderful because you've got this ring binder system. You can take pages out, put them back in wherever you want. With a cahier, you can't do that. And that is one of the strengths of a cahier, I think, because I like, when I'm working on a book, for example, I'll keep all my notes in the one place, in the one cahier. I will then, when I get home and want to more logically store that information, I will duplicate it onto spare sheets of paper and keep them in my William Hanna or an Atoma or something similar, but something that has the ability to move the pages around. But not that anything might go wrong, but one thing that I do find is that every now and again I need to go back to my original notes and just confirm minor details. I may not have copied all of the details across into my William Hanna. It may be something else entirely, but it's useful, I find, to have a cahier because the cahier is not too big, so I can fill it up and then file it somewhere. But each time that cahier is going to have all of the notes I want in the relevant place, in the right coloured ink, because I change my coloured inks regularly so that I've got a mental reminder about when I wrote something roughly by the change in the ink and so on. So I find this just fabulous. There's a couple of other details I should have mentioned. First of all, let's just open it up again. You'll see here there are two ribbon bookmarks. Very simple design. They're just pushed through these two holes, so it's one bookmark comes up, loops around, goes through the other hole, comes down to make the second bookmark. Dead easy. Really simple but very effective. Each of the cahiers are held in place much the same way that you would hold in place a traveller's notebook filing thing. You've got elastic straps and you just put the cahier through the elastic straps and that's it. I think that this wax material is going to show marks and show how it's been used and abused, which is going to be quite appealing. It's a bit like when you have a brass pen. It's nice always to see how the brass gets affected. So when you get a brass Kaveco or something, you can see by the way that it gets marked over time, you can see how it's been used and adored, basically, and carried with you everywhere. I will have to talk about this at some point in the near future, which is a new Kuru Toga from Uni, a Mitsubishi pencil. But this, I think, is going to be my standard pencil to be taking out in this notebook. And then just do up that clip again. Once more, difficult to do it when you're looking at it from behind, but here's the clip. All you do is just push it down and then pull the strap at the back. Once more, pull it without the arm that's injured, and that keeps everything tight and neat. So first impressions, absolutely delighted. I am very, very impressed with the quality of the stitching, the quality of the manufacture generally. I love the feel of it. The waxed cotton feels glorious. The paper, well, I'll possibly do a full review at some point in the not too distant future, but let's just say it's Tomo River 68 GSM paper. That means it's very light. It means it'll take fountain pens with no problem, no ghosting, no bleed through, no feathering, nothing at all. It is superb paper. I like the fact that I've got the option of lined dot grid and plain paper, because plain paper is essential for me for sketching and marking out ideas. I like making my notes generally onto lined paper, and I really like dot grids for just having outline ideas. I'm currently trying to redesign my website. That's going to need dot grid paper. So having the variety I find really useful. It feels thoroughly robust. I think it looks lovely. And I'm really looking forward to using this quite a lot and filling out several pages. And that, I think, is about it, really. I'm now going to sit back here, put my arm back in the sling because it's now getting really quite sore. And I'm going to plan out the next few books and work out what I've got to do with each of them to get myself back on stream. That is so much easier, so much easier. So I've now got my work cut out. I've got 3 books I've got to write in the not too distant future. A 4th one if I possibly can. I've been asked to mentor an aspiring writer in the States, so I'm working out best way I can do that for him. And so times are busy, basically. Hopefully this will soon be discarded and I'll be able to get back to normal functioning. It will take a while though, I have no doubt. But yes, it's all exciting times. So for now, I will go because I've got to return to learning dictation and using dictation on my computer more efficiently. I also have to try learning Cara-cording. If you haven't heard of it, Cara, C-H-A-R-A, as in character, and cording, C-H-O-R-D. Cara-cording is a very interesting concept where instead of using your keyboard typing character by character, you can, for example, teach it that you want to use BC pressed simultaneously, is cording for because. And by learning a certain number of different keystrokes that you can program yourself, you can start to type a great deal faster. That's quite appealing. But for now, I will go. I'll leave you in peace. Don't forget, if you could hit the like button, that makes a difference. If you're interested in supporting me and the channel, then go to the bottom and there's a link to Patreon or to buy me a coffee or whatever else you might fancy doing. And in the meantime, I will leave you in peace and I'll speak to you again soon. Take care. Thanks a lot and bye.